I mean, with everything, there's a bit of a journey. I fell in love with sewing when I was in high school, or just entering high school, and it just grew from there. I started making things to sell at markets, to raise funds to get my first overlocker, and took study, did sewing at school. I went to fashion, RMIT, Fashion Institute of Textile, which is now taken over RMIT, and studied fashion there, entered the fashion industry, worked my way around as assistant designer, quality controller, into production roles. And while that was all happening, my love of sewing sort of fell away because it was so cheap to buy clothing, at work, or even, make it at work. But so I stopped sort of sewing, and it was only I've only probably just started getting back into sewing for the last few years, since COVID. But before COVID, I started sewing again probably. But a fitting connection started. The industry isn't set up for working mums, I don't find. Part-time work is really challenging. So I started freelancing, and then freelancing turned into my own business, where I could bring in pattern makers and designers and so forth to support the clients that I had, those small independent labels, and those ones want to enter the market, and create their own brand, so that we had the skills to support them in the journey. They just had the idea, and they might have the marketing knowledge. I had hoped that I'd make it a bit more sustainable in that process, but balancing sustainability, low numbers for the clients, and the factories needs to make more, it makes it easier for them to make more bigger units. It was a real challenge, and it just become a real headspace. It was just really hard. So when COVID hit, it gave me time to work on an idea that I had, which is turning waste into fundraising for schools. And while that didn't work because it was too convoluted for schools, and schools just want small bursts of what they call incursions. They want, sharp 2-hour incursions rather than a term-long project.
Yeah.
So the project, rather than having long-term projects, we just have 2-hour workshops, which I revert back to what I was making for the craft markets when I was looking to, make money to make my overlocker, where we're making scrunchies and we're making footballs, and I was doing all that sort of things. And I'm just taking that out to the schools, the libraries, the council pop-ups. I'm running short 2-hour sessions where they're turning waste into something different. It might be mending, it might be turning, making a football, it might be weaving or rag roping, but they're all very short bursts.